Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, August 5th.
That's the one.
Week comes at you fast, man. It's hump day then. It's Wednesday, August 5th. I'm Manila Chan, that's Ted Rall. You're tuned into the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI show for short, because we bring you way too much information. We do it live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So please be sure to join us live, especially in the Rumble chat. The early part of the month, we need as many unique chatters as possible. So if you are normally in the background lurking, please just drop a poop emoji or whatever to keep us in the creator program so we can get paid. So we can pay the bills and keep the lights on and keep doing this stuff. Talking about poops. One of the viewers yesterday was saying that it seems like every week we have a poop story. So she's probably not wrong.
We should have more.
I agree. There's so much to tell about your health and like longevity or whatever in your colon.
Plus, it's poop.
Poop is funny.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has anyone looked into the cyclosporia outbreak in Michigan? Apparently 2 people died. I heard maybe it's up to 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you die from explosive diarrhea?
What do you mean?
They must have had
diarrhea kills people a lot.
Really? I mean, they must have had like compromised health already.
Yeah, they
right?
did. They had underlying conditions.
Yeah.
Diarrhea killed more people in the Civil War than bullets did.
Diarrhea?
Diarrhea is very dangerous.
Yeah, you die from dehydration.
Yeah. Like in the developing world, diarrhea kills millions of people a year.
I just figured that was part of like a greater health issue for people in the developing world.
No. Dehydration is brutal.
In Michigan? But like in Michigan? And they just had their primary and Dr. Abdul El-Sayed won. He beat in the primary. He primaried sitting Congresswoman Haley Stevens. The numbers came in. It's confirmed. He beat the 4-term Congresswoman Haley Stevens that talks really weird.
He did defeat her. Yeah. No, that's official.
Yeah, it's official now. So I would say, Ted, that this is kind of the weather vane of where the Democratic Party is leaning this time, and I think they're going progressive. I think they're getting tired. They're getting tired of the same old DNC-backed Chuck Schumer types. I think.
Well, I mean, what's
for better or worse?
The thing that's interesting here is that before the DNC and the AIPAC put their greasy thumbs on the scale, Haley Stevens was poised to win. She was ahead in the polls by between 4 and 6 points, a comfortable margin.
Comfortable lead.
She would have almost certainly won. Then, basically, the establishment came in full throttle with James Clyburn, who you might remember me from 2016 and 2020, fuck Bernie Sanders. And all those people came in and all the establishment Democrats endorsed her and again came out strong against him. And online, they even engaged in Islamophobia against a member of their own party, right?
Did they? I didn't see those.
They did. Oh, it was disgusting. And I mean, you would have thought they were a bunch of like pro-Bush Cheney people back after 9/11.
No kidding. Well, remember that party did bring back Liz Cheney. True. Kamala Harris brought Liz Cheney up.
That's true. Disgusting.
To campaign.
And then basically, and then the AIPAC money, $30 million in direct contributions and another $30 million, well, we know where it came from. So $60 million total, all dark money. Poured in from AIPAC. It's the largest amount. It's the biggest amount of money ever spent on a race outside of a presidential campaign in the United States. Okay, so crazy amounts of money. And the thing is, all he had to do was run ads and say, "Look at all the AIPAC money. Look at all the establishment." And for a lot of Michiganders who were gonna vote not at all or were gonna vote for her, they changed their minds and they turned out for him because it pissed them off, because they hate the outside interference and or they hate Israel and AIPAC. So, I mean,
Michigan has the biggest Arab communities in the United States, like in one collected state. I mean, so Michigan is very full of Arabs. So I think a lot
That's
of them
true.
came out
And don't
supportive of
forget, the thing that people don't talk about is just you might be, white or black or something else, but if you live in a place and you're friends with Arabs, the odds are you're also you might vote in solidarity with your Arab buddies. And
yeah,
so, that's the thing. It's not like, Arabs have no solidarity or that white people don't care about the genocide. They do. So it's definitely, this was the lesson here for the DNC. And I don't think they're going to take it, and I'm glad for that, is because I don't want them to get smart. But the lesson should be, probably you'll do better. You would do better. You're so unpopular and so despised that if you just shut up, your candidates will do better. But
yeah,
they just can't help themselves because they're loud
yeah.
and they're stupid.
Collecting that money from AIPAC just backfired royally,
Oh,
and I think it's gonna in
catastrophic.
November.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not going to be an unchallenging race because Saeed has to beat not only a Republican opponent in a swing state that has voted for Donald Trump. He's got to vote. He's got to vote again. He's got to go against his own party, who are going to be trying to stab him in the back
Well,
because they would
the
rather
seat that he's
lose
gonna
to the Republicans.
well, the seat that he's trying to fill is being
It's held
vacated by a Democrat.
correct.
So
Yeah.
it's very. I mean, I think it could be a toss up, but I think it'll still go in the Democrats' favor, and in this case, it'll be El-Sayed. So
We shall
we'll
see.
see. We will see. But Haley Stevens, what a weird, like, she
I
has a
can't.
strange accent.
And she has a strange affect. And
Yeah,
also,
there's
man,
strange about her.
there was a candidate quality gap here too, right? I mean, like the debate was fucking embarrassing. She was horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, the woman is not. She's just not great. What can I say?
yeah. So
She was a
I was
weak
surprised she
candidate
was
anyway.
elected. I was surprised she was elected that she had this seat in the first place.
Well, she didn't have this seat. She had another seat. Yeah, she
Well,
had a House seat.
still, that she was an elected official.
I know. It's like what?
So, like,
Yeah.
you guys voted for her? So I'm starting to question the Michiganders in the first place that
No,
put her in a seat. So there you go.
Not unreasonable.
All right, let's hit the topics. All right. Today's, I think, is going to be education heavy, Ted. So
Okay.
the GI Bill was created to reward military service by helping veterans build a better life. Instead, according to a sweeping Washington Post investigation, it has become a lucrative hunting ground for predatory schools that see veterans less as students and more as guaranteed government paychecks. The investigation found more than $300 million in fraud tied to GI Bill trade schools. I mean, remember, we've been talking about trade schools a lot on the show because regular college admission is on the decline while trade schools are up, like way up. So this kind of ties into all of that too. But there's a lot of fraud tied to the GI Bill trade schools over roughly the past decade. So these trade schools have been popping up all over the place. Many of the schemes followed the same playbook: create an unaccredited school, promise veterans a fast path to a high-paying career, charge eye-popping tuition, collect taxpayer money, and deliver little or no value. Ted, we can do this.
Like, hi, this is Ted Rall. It's like, would you like a take place in a fast-growing AI career in your community?
Yes, that's right.
You can come to the TMI Trade School. It's like, it's for trade, machinery, and industry trade school. Send in your money right
intelligence.
now. We apply for financial aid from the government. And if you a
Gotta pay
veteran,
a thing.
if you a veteran, you call right now. The operators will be standing by. You can keep your own tools.
That's basically what happened. So look, let me tell you the details. It was shocking because this was like one of those like the few times that I am happy to read WAPO when they do investigative stuff like this. Those are, but these are the pay only articles. So, the vast majority of the country isn't paying to read the Washington Post, right? So this is one of those pay articles. So one New Hampshire school charged the Department of Veterans Affairs about $15,000 to teach veterans how to
Wait.
grow.
I think we are currently blind. I think you didn't de-jaws us.
Oh my
Remember, you have
gosh!
to.
I thought I
You have,
clicked. I thought I know, but I thought I unclicked
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
were they able to
We're audio
hear?
only right now.
They were able to. You could hear us, right? I
Yeah.
swear I thought I clicked it, but I guess I didn't click it. But anyway, I made it a point to
All right. Is it fixed now?
Yeah, it's unhighlighted. Can you
Okay.
guys see
Cool.
us now? Well,
All
we
right.
don't have Robbie, by the way, because I think the fires.
Yeah. He's
We
got.
had him for a second, and then he warned
He's
us that the power's been on and
okay.
off
Everything's
because of the
fine now.
fires.
Yeah. Cool.
But so we don't have Robbie to tell us right now because
Well, we have the
the audience,
chatters. It's all good.
the
Yeah.
chatters. Yes, good looking out, chatters. Thank you. So the school in New Hampshire was teaching about $15K. Ted, you can go to this. It'll teach you how to grow organic grass, like your lawn, organic grass.
Wait, what kind of grass is not organic? Is
I
there
don't. I
is there
don't.
synthetic grass? AstroTurf?
Well, there
What are
is.
they
There
talking about?
is. That's a thing in California. People put the fake grass up because of the drought. I have lots of friends that
Very strange.
did that, but they call it organic grass in a course
Yeah.
lasting 5 days. Ted,
All right.
this company was making $15,000 per veteran for a 5-day course on organic grass. Civilians, however, were quoted just $5,000 for the exact same training. Federal investigators later conducted an undercover sting after questioning whether anyone would willingly pay that price without the GI Bill. Another school billed the VA about $19,000 for an 8-day class teaching students how to create decorative fake rocks out of concrete.
It's like pet rocks all over again.
Veterans later told investigators they spent much of the course performing unpaid labor on the owner's commercial job sites rather than receiving meaningful instruction. One former student summed up the experience bluntly: it was all a lie. The largest fraud uncovered involved a Texas HVAC trade school that collected roughly $72 million in GI Bill money over 3 years. Prosecutors said the owner lied about the school's finances and qualifications, while veterans described rushed, inadequate training that left them unprepared for real jobs. Meanwhile, investigators say the owner of this HVAC school bought himself a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, a Bentley, a multi-million-dollar mansion, and admitted spending nearly $200,000 at strip clubs. He's a job creator.
What an asshole.
The investigation argues these weren't isolated scams. They were symptoms of a system riddled with vulnerabilities. Unlike many federal education programs, the GI Bill allows many vocational schools to operate without academic accreditation. There is no meaningful federal minimum for course length, limited oversight of classroom quality, and much of the monitoring falls to under-resourced state agencies. Schools often self-report enrollment numbers and tuition, while compliance inspectors are typically scheduled in advance. Veteran advocates say those gaps create irresistible opportunities for fraudsters. The VA points out that the documented fraud represents less than 0.3% of overall education spending, and says it has recently created new fraud detection tools, risk scoring systems, and investigative units. But former inspectors general and watchdog groups told investigators they believe the known cases likely represent only a fraction of the abuse occurring nationwide. For veterans, the warning is simple: don't assume that a school is legitimate just because it accepts the GI Bill. Research accreditation compare tuition with similar programs, investigate graduation and job placement rates, and ask hard questions before signing enrollment paperwork. The GI Bill remains one of America's greatest promises to those who serve, but this investigation suggests the promise has become a target, and veterans are often the last to realize that they've been caught in a scam. How shitty is that, Ted? Like, what kind of asshole are you that, like, you have this veteran that's like out of the military, he or she is trying to, turn a new leaf in life and, like, go into the private sector, civilian life, and, like, let me teach you how to grow organic grass.
And then
You're gonna have a great booming lawn industry.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with that? Yeah, that is no, it's disgusting. I mean, I have to admit, I kind of marvel at people whose minds think this way, like who literally, like the people during the COVID money who are like the PPP, like, oh, like, most people, we just read the story and we're like, okay. And then other people are like, all right, guys, roll up your sleeves. We're going to figure out how we're going to scam some of this government money and we're going to steal it for ourselves. And who cares if we end up fucking over a bunch of people, including veterans? And it's, I mean, part of me thinks, okay, obviously they belong in prison. That's for sure. And the other part of me is like, how does your brain work like that? Like, why are you, like if you're that smart at scamming, why don't you just start a legitimate business for real and invent something that people need and sell it to them? I mean, it seems like you're pretty crafty, you're pretty canny, you should be able to do that.
Well, obviously the crafty people are on the other end of this, because how the GI Bill works, in case, like, my husband's a disabled veteran, and he used the GI Bill and got multiple graduate degrees from real colleges. So he was not scammed.
Not Columbia School of Beauty.
That's right. He went to regular colleges that have accreditation,
Right.
And got actual usable degrees.
Wow. Can't even imagine.
So I know. I'm like, what's that like? Like finance? I mean, what? How do you do that?
I don't even understand. I don't even understand. Please
$sign.
Manila, please speak English. I don't understand.
Right. $sign divided by pi over whatever. I don't know. He solves stuff like that. I don't know. But anyway, he used the GI Bill and it worked out. I mean, for the most part, there are millions and millions of people just like him who, at least, they knew better than to sign up for, something like lawn care, because a lot of veterans don't even look into what it'll cost the GI program. It is an automatic payment. The school, quote unquote, just directly bills the VA. So the student, the veteran, never ever sees a bill. So he or she never crosses their mind to even think about that, for the most part, right? Like most, it's part of your benefits package. Like that's and for a lot of kids that go into the military, this is their way to get a college education, right? They serve a couple of years, they get out, and then they get free education. That's the whole point. It's a lot of, underprivileged, lower socioeconomic kids, usually 18 years old, trying to get out of a bad situation. And they know on the other side of this 2, 3, or 4 year contract that they signed to be in the military, on the other side of this, they have a lifetime of benefits. And this is what's happening to them. How shitty, like how this is why the VA budget keeps expanding, Ted. Like,
it's so low.
It's so, like, but the problem is they just keep throwing more good money after bad. Right? Well, and the VA isn't cracking down on it.
I just want people to, this is good. Like, for the people who watch the TMI show, just a reminder, like, tell you and for you and yours to pay attention and, be aware of, like, double, triple check before you get involved in one of these things.
Yeah. Don't just sign up for whatever trade school, especially because we're talking about that a lot these days.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
And if you jaws, you must unjaws.
I know. It shows the highlight and I thought I took it off.
You must de-jaws. In modern financial markets, milliseconds matter. Trading firms spend billions of dollars building faster networks, servers, and algorithms to gain an edge measured in fractions of a second. Now, Trump has introduced his variation on this, his own social media posts. Trump Media and Technology Group has now launched Truth API. It's a so-called premium service that offers a unique product. It tells institutional clients that they will get the fastest possible access to Trump's Truth Social posts, including and also those from other influential MAGA accounts. You pay as much as $100,000 a month or $60,000 a month under multi-year contracts. So the posts are not actually technically released early. Trump media says they appear publicly at exactly the same time, but direct data feeds reach automated trading systems milliseconds faster than consumer apps, browsers, or public internet traffic. Normally, that really wouldn't matter, but Trump's posts, as we know, can move markets. His announcements on tariffs, military actions, energy policy, and individual companies have repeatedly sent stocks, commodities, and currencies sharply higher or lower. Investors now monitor his account like they watch government economic reports. So obviously there are ethical concerns here. Trump is the most important figure by far on Truth Social and the largest financial beneficiary of its parent company. Every institutional subscription raises more money for his grift. Critics, and it's emolumentastic. Critics say the arrangement risks creating a two-tiered market. Hedge funds and trading firms are able to spend six figures. They gain a speed advantage over ordinary investors reacting through news alerts or social media. So far, no regulator has said that this violates securities laws. Of course, the regulators all work for Trump, and Trump media describes it as a standard commercial data product. But maybe not so much. Financial firms have long paid for faster information, but Truth API builds on this trend to transform the public communications of the President of the United States into a premium Bloomberg-like market feed. Obviously, this is a massive conflict of interest.
Yeah, I'm trying to process how this isn't like a conflict of interest. Like I thought when you're
obviously.
I thought when you're a president that you're supposed to like distance yourself from whatever businesses you may or may not have had before, or like create like a blind trust or whatever. But I remember Trump doing that the first term.
Yeah, but it's
But
not
this
in the.
term,
It's
he's like,
not.
"Fuck
It's
it."
not. There's no law, right? It's just a. It's more just like.
Oh,
I mean, the thing is, one of the
no
more
law.
profound quotes that I remember when Trump became president was some expert saying, "We're about to learn from Donald Trump how much of the American system is not based on law; it's based on norms." And it was a norm that said that presidents shouldn't be profiteering from the
Oh,
presidency. But there's nothing. I mean, he can do it. It's an emolument, okay, which is an impeachable
right,
offense. But impeachment is a political process, not a it's not a legal process.
right.
So, basically they can decide to impeach if they want, but it's not against the law. So, unfortunately, it ought to be, but it
It's
isn't.
frowned upon, is what you're saying.
Right? It's gauche, it's tacky. Now, adding to this is the Supreme Court ruling granting Trump virtual immunity for almost anything he does while he's in office, and
Right.
so
But that's
he's.
also not a law, right?
But
That's just the
that's a
American
court.
way.
That's a Supreme Court ruling. The
Oh,
question
this
is,
one is a Supreme Court.
how would the
Okay.
Supreme Court rule? How would the SCOTUS ruling be interpreted if it were challenged in court? And that's anybody's guess. The question is, if someone were to, let's say, let's say there were a civil lawsuit brought by an investor who was disadvantaged by something like this, and sued Trump and said, "Listen, because Trump did this and sold this special access to institutional investors, I ended up getting burned on a stock trade that I wouldn't have gotten burned on." I think you could easily build a case like that. Then, if it were to come to court, the court would have to determine was was Trump rendered immune. I suspect they would say no, because the Supreme Court ruling specifically relates to, it immunizes Trump not for anything he does. It's just like anything he
Right.
does as president. In other words, as part of his presidential duties. This is not part of his presidential duties. This is business. That's a
Right.
side business. So like
It's his side hustle.
it's his side hustle, right? So it's like, I think it would not protect him, but I think he thinks it is. And that's why he's kind of going crazy right now, trying to grift as quickly as possible, figuring that some plaintiffs will be cowed by this Supreme Court ruling.
Well, I mean, doesn't this just open a can of worms for other lawmakers and officials in the government who can sway markets? It would be like if Jerome, well, I know Jerome Powell's not in the seat anymore, but if he were, and he's like, oh, I'm going to open my own, I don't know, Twitter like, which is what Truth Social is, right? It's like a knockoff of, it's like cheap
Sure,
Twitter.
sure.
But if Jerome Powell decided, I'm going to make a social media site, and anyone that joins will, I'm going to make comments about the housing market there.
Sure.
Like, I'm going to talk about interest rates and stuff. There's no law that prevents him from doing that. And Bloomberg and all these people, you guys can sign up for $60,000 a month. So you'll get the milliseconds notice that my tweet is going up, because my tweet will then be blasted out everywhere else on a 5-second delay, a 10-second delay, right? It'll be public. But you get the 10-second access.
Yep.
That changes markets. The same thing with Trump. It's like if we're going to World War III with Iran, that will change oil futures like literally in a millisecond, right? If they found out that we were sending, like, I don't know, B-52 bombers that way, they're taken off of whatever base in Germany, right, and flying over to Iran right now, and Trump tweets it, those milliseconds will literally change like oil stock in a heartbeat.
Right.
And that's
right.
what's happening here.
Yeah,
That's
because
exactly
when this story was initially released, Manila, the way it was portrayed by like major news outlets was a little different. They said that like basically the people who subscribed to this service would receive the truths first, and then the truths would go out later to the public, right? The same truths. And that was kind of like how that's how it was marketed.
And that's it? That's all they said about it?
Yeah, and like now it's kind of like, oh, so they all go out at the same time, sort of. But because the giant companies like like hedge funds, they have these supercomputers
Right.
that literally can trigger a trade. They can AI and instantaneously say, what does this mean? Oh,
right.
oil
It can
prices are going to
calculate
go
what's
up.
happening.
Go long
Right.
on oil futures, right? Like
Its own prediction models are built in, and
Right.
and they can supercompute much faster than the most experienced Wall Street trader, right? Like more than our friend Bubba Horowitz. Shout out to Bubba. Bubba's been trading for like 45 years, right? These firms that have this kind of technology can trade faster than Bubba can click.
Mhm.
And en masse.
That's it. That's exactly it.
This is a topic we should probably ask Bubba about. Like, what we should bring him on. We haven't had Bubba on in a long time.
Yeah, I'd be curious what he thinks. I mean, especially since I think he supports the president, so I wonder what he thinks.
He does, and I wonder where he's at now, given Trump has made the market so volatile. I mean, the highs have been high and the lows have been devastating. So
yeah, I don't think Bubba's a big fan of volatility, as I recall.
I don't think so. I think he's a pretty steady, even-keeled trader. I don't think he likes going into taking big risks. And Bubba does have his own like seminar class about teaching you how to trade. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think he tries to bill people. I don't think he tries to bilk the GI Bill, though.
Well, that's our job. That's the TMI trade school. Like
it's organic grass.
That there is Dean Manila, and I am Provost Ted, and welcome
Ted,
to our trade school.
You're gonna teach cartooning so people they can then take the trade to like
Cartooning
Atlantic City.
is the trade of the future.
They can
And
go to Atlantic City at the boardwalk.
Everybody who draws cartoons becomes worth trillions of dollars. Look at Charles Schultz. He had that beagle, and that beagle is rich. And you can be as rich as that dog. So you sign up now. The number 1-800-TMI show. Call now. Operators are standing by. We accept Discover card. That's the orange one no one else takes. Come on.
No, and GI Bill. We primarily focus on the GI Bill because then you can
Bill, if you
overcharge.
You served in Iraq. Now it's time to get back at the TMI school.
That's right.
Of cartooning and beauty.
I will teach people how to cut their own hair. My unaccredited beauty school.
I will teach you how to use this pen, this one pen, and you will learn how to draw. You can draw as goodly as I can.
And you can save thousands by cutting your own hair.
You will save thousands of Zimbabwean dollars.
That's right. All right. Here's another grift. Okay. This, I guess today's, maybe it's not about education. The theme is grifting. Big grifts.
Always.
And none bigger than California. God bless my home state. Gotta love Gavin Newsom, man. I mean, like, I say this tongue in cheek, but I mean, seriously, Ted, the balls on this guy, it just wow. Just wow. Story just comes out that he was like stooping his best friend's wife, right? Like all of this stuff. And he's like ready to get it. He's prepping himself.
Come on. Who hasn't fucked their best friend's spouse?
Oh, I mean, my God.
Really?
Just the balls on this guy. You really have to kind of commend him because of like the big balls on Newsom. So this story came out yesterday. So California Governor Gavin Newsom is facing renewed scrutiny over an often overlooked feature of California politics, something called behested payments, a legal system. Yeah, right?
Behested.
Behested, at the behest of. It's literally like the definition of like at the behest of the governor. A legal system that allows elected officials to ask corporations, labor unions, native tribes, and other special interests to donate unlimited sums of money, not to political campaigns, but to charities, nonprofits, and public causes that the behestor, in this case, this would be Gavin Newsom, that they ask you to donate to. Mm-hmm. So it'd be like Gavin Newsom phones up Mark Zuckerberg, and this is true. This is like part of the investigation. Zuckerberg and Facebook are one of the biggest behested payees in the state of California, or payors. Mm-hmm. They're one of the biggest payors in California. So Newsom phones up Zuck all the time, and it's like, hey, you really ought to donate this X millions of dollars. Right? Just like that. The governor can do that. Here's why. So since first winning statewide office back in 2011, Newsom has reportedly solicited roughly $347 million through this practice, including more than $340 million, so the bulk of it, during his tenure right now as governor, $5 million plus while serving as lieutenant governor. By comparison, former Governor Jerry Brown reported only about 1/10 of that amount over a comparable period. Unlike campaign contributions, behested payments are not subject to California's strict contribution limits because the money never enters a campaign account. Instead, donors write checks directly to third-party organizations identified by the elected official. In this case, it's Gavin. Supporters argue the system allows governors to mobilize private capital quickly for things such as disaster relief, charitable initiatives, and public-private partnerships without relying solely on the taxpayer dollar. Newsom's office has previously pointed to wildfire recovery, homelessness initiatives, and nonprofit programs as examples of the practice serving legitimate public purposes. So, yes, they are going to good things, but it's still another conflict of interest, in my opinion, anyway. Critics, however, argue the arrangement creates an obvious ethical dilemma. Yeah.
Duh.
Many of the organizations writing 7- and 8-figure checks also have substantial business before the state. Major
Gee,
corporations,
what a coincidence.
major corporations, healthcare companies, labor organizations, and tribal governments frequently seek regulatory approvals, contracts, or favorable policy decisions from California's executive branch. While there's no public evidence that specific donations produced specific government actions, ethics experts have long warned that the appearance of influence alone can erode public confidence.
The appearance of conflict of interest is conflict of interest.
The conflict of, right, the appearance alone. So some of the largest individual requests reportedly reached into the millions of dollars. Investigations have also highlighted approximately $5 million in behested donations directed to the California Partners Project, a nonprofit founded by they call her, this is so annoying to me, the first partner, Jennifer Siebel Newsom.
Wait, they're married, aren't they?
Yes, but
So
because California is progressive.
She's the first chickadee.
She's the first lady of California, but because they're so progressive, Ted, she identifies as the first partner.
I hate that.
Makes
her sound like a lesbian.
I know. She's the first partner.
Unless there's something about Gavin we don't know.
Well, I don't know. She self-identifies as the first partner, not the first lady.
Mm-hmm.
So first partner, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, works alongside her official office, although she is not paid by this organization. So $5 million in behested payments went to CPP, California Partners Project. She's the first partner, Ted. And
yeah, basically I get it. It's her own little pet project.
$5 million
and her hubby like directed $5 million to basically, it's kind of like when a rich guy buys his bored wife a little boutique to run in the strip mall in the suburbs. Yeah. It's like, hey, honey bunch, I'm
selling my blown glass.
I love you. Here's $5 million
for her organization.
Yeah.
So this issue has taken on greater significance as Newsom increasingly positions himself as a national Democratic figure and a potential 2028 presidential contender. At the same time, California's political watchdog recently fined the governor $31,500 for reporting $5.5 million in behested donations after state disclosure deadlines. So state disclosure deadlines are 31 days from the moment it hits any place, like where you make the donation and the donation has been made. You have 31 days. So old Gavi there missed a couple of days, I guess. So he's been fined just over 30 grand. Although the commission did not allege the donations themselves were illegal. It was just a penalty for late filing. The broader question extends well beyond the governor. Modern politics increasingly relies on funding streams that exist outside traditional campaign finance laws. Behested payments occupy one of those gray areas, legal, transparent through disclosure requirements, yet capable of moving hundreds of millions of dollars at the request of the elected official. Whether the practice represents efficient public-private cooperation or an invitation to pay-to-play politics, I'm going to go with the latter, remains a matter of fierce debate. But with nearly $350 million raised through the system, California has become the nation's most prominent test case for where legal fundraising ends and political influence begins. What do you think about that, Ted? Behested payments? No one's ever heard of this shit.
No, nobody's ever heard of it. It's disgusting. California is a fucking cesspool of corruption, as I learned up close and personal. And it's amazing to me how a state that could purport to be progressive and lefty, allows this shit to happen. It's so gross.
It's so dirty. But here's the thing, Ted. oh, what is his face? From Illinois, Blagojevich, Blago.
Yeah.
Remember
Who went to prison?
Went to prison because allegedly he was like, "Hey, so you want to take the Senate seat vacated by Obama?" So dude serves like 10 years or something, some ridiculous amount of time in prison for what is tantamount to like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, but there's no hard, I don't know. I didn't personally think there was a lot of hard evidence to say that he said,
No, I mean,
you
I
can
think
buy the
honestly,
seat.
I think he was really not treated fairly.
Yeah, I think it was really like they really threw the book at him just to make an example of him. But here
Well, they had
you
it out for
have,
him. Yeah.
they totally did. But here you have my home state governor who is greasy AF, getting his palms greased like his extended palm, right? It's like you can grease my wife's palm and then she'll take care of me on the back end, right? Like it's your behested payments are basically like a loophole, a workaround to getting what you want from the governor. So if you're a Native American tribe and you want to, let's say, open another casino, because California has a lot of them, you and it's going to require X amount of water access and blah blah blah, and state regulations say it's going to take 8 months before an inspector can get there. But then you call the governor and you're like, hey, I know you've really been working on this project where you want the kids in XYZ district to have brand new computers. We're going to buy brand new computers and donate money to the schools. Would that make you happy, governor? The governor says yes. And then the governor can go on TV and be like, in a public-private partnership with tribe, blah, 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 we're doing this. And the kids at, San Francisco Rose Elementary, they're all getting private computers, laptops, blah, blah, blah. And the school's getting, $100,000 this year, thanks to tribe, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, sure, it's not a direct bribe to the governor, but the governor gets his clout. And then on the back end, the governor's like, I'm just going to go ahead and approve the water rights for this new casino, right? Like that's how this works.
That is how this works. Yeah.
This is exactly what this is. And not to blame the Native Americans, obviously, but it's one example of like an interest group, if you will. I mean, obviously a tribe they are an interest group, but broader than that. So trade unions, it could be anything, but the governor can literally call Mark Zuckerberg being one of the prime examples, calls Zuck and is like, bro, hey, bro, and says, such and such project for homelessness in Silicon Valley, we really need some more encampments, some more some more tents. Can you donate a few $1,000,000 to such and such nonprofit organization?
It's like, love you, man.
Yeah, bro. And Zuckerberg does it. I mean, he was part of, like, they investigated that Facebook and Zuck was the top donor to behested payments. So so Ted, now we know that's why he and Priscilla, that's why they have that whole fucking compound happening.
This shit's not going to help his reelection, his presidential campaign in 2 years. Yeah.
No, of course not. But this is going to look really bad. But now everybody knows about behested payments. There are other states in the union that do it. California is just obviously the most egregious.
And probably, highest profile and probably, without a doubt, biggest scale, right?
Yeah. So other states do this. Look into your own home state. If you're wondering how certain projects are happening and whatever interest groups, it might be through this. So it's not direct campaign donations and it's not, super PAC donations. This is a loophole to the super PAC. There you go.
And last but not least, for residents of Haven Plaza in Manhattan's Alphabet City neighborhood, the most basic.
Wait, where's that?
That's the Lower East Side, sort of.
Lower East Side.
So it's basically
like past Chelsea.
So Chelsea's on the west side in the 20s.
Oh. in the
Alphabet
20s. Okay.
City is like the single digits from 14th Street from down to Houston Street.
Oh, okay.
It's called Alphabet City because it has avenues instead of first, second, third. It has avenues A, B, C, D.
Oh, I've not
Okay.
been to that area then because I don't ever remember seeing alphabet streets in New York. So I'm
Yeah,
never
so
been there.
it used to be a sketchy area.
Oh,
Not anymore, but it used to be. It was like, but it's kind of the northern Lower East Side. Um,
northern. Okay, okay.
yeah. So anyway, for residents in that area, the most basic act of daily life has become a public health gamble. Tenants in the 5-building affordable housing complex, say Haven Plaza, say that they've gone about 2 months without safely using their showers after Legionella bacteria were detected in the building's water system. 2 people who lived there did develop Legionnaires within a year, triggering broader testing and remediation across the complex's 371 apartment units. Legionnaires is a severe form of pneumonia that you get by inhaling contaminated water vapor. That makes showers a real problem, especially for older residents, smokers, and people with weakened immune systems or with chronic lung disease. So just take a fucking bath. Yet tenants say official guidance has been confusing and very slow. Shocking that the New York City bureaucracy could be like that. Some families have resorted to heating pots of water for baths. One mother described boiling water simply to keep her 8-year-old son from bathing in freezing water. Well, yeah. Residents have demanded mobile showers, rent relief, and clearer information about when their water will eventually be considered safe again. Catholic Homes of New York, which owns the property, and Wavecrest Management say a full testing and treatment program began after the second victim was identified. A city-approved remediation plan reportedly began in late July, but residents say they still lacked a firm timetable for it to be resolved. Now it's a political crisis. Residents and local officials have questioned why Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York, appears focused on high-profile announcements and housing tours while people in Haven Plaza struggle for attention. City council leaders are now demanding oversight and stronger rules for buildings vulnerable to Legionella contamination. So basically, hundreds of people can't even take a friggin' shower, and no one much seems to care.
And these
City
aren't
government.
unhoused people, Ted, as we
No,
say in
these are
California.
highly housed people.
Are these
This
are these projects or like what?
no, this is
No?
just a no.
Regular
This
apartments?
is just an apartment building. Yeah. Mhm.
So okay, so we've not heard much from the mayor about this, right?
No.
Um are what are I've done real estate in California, so I know like the responsibility of like California landlords, but what kind of laws are there in New York that require the building owner? Like somebody has to be in charge of the pipes and where the water access goes. I mean, this
Yeah, it's the
is
health department. The health department supervises it. Obviously, the building owners are responsible to provide a safe habitation. Clean water is obviously one of the basic metrics
right.
of
Is this
that.
water? Is this poison water? Is this like the source of the water? Have they traced it back? Do they know if the source
No,
is
and
what's bad?
the thing is, Legionnaire's disease is now, it's not, that's not the only building. Okay, lots of buildings in New York have now tested positive for it,
Oh
so
God.
it's around. And
Oh God. So
this
is
is
it
just
in
a
the
place where
water
2
system?
people died. Yeah, it's in the water. It's in the
So
water
it's not the
system.
pipes of this building. It's in the water system.
Oh well, I mean, nobody really knows how it's spreading
Yeah, that's
from
what I'm
building to
saying.
building.
Like
Um, I,
they
I
don't
have
know
a,
the
I have a
source.
theory though. So those traditional, Edward Hopper paintings that show the traditional like water towers on the older
Oh,
buildings in New York
yeah.
City that have like the pointed top and then there's cylinders underneath. It's very
Like the one
iconic.
in LA where the girl was found dead.
Yeah. So there's a lot
Like
of
that.
those still in New York, right? And I lived in a building on 101st Street that had one of those, and the super was confiding to me that they have to be cleaned from time to time because at the point where the roof meets the side, there's a
Okay.
gap, and that gap there
Is
has to be
there?
so that there has to be ventilation. The air has
Yeah.
to be able to, the water has to be able to aerate, right?
Sure.
Well, where there's gaps, there
There's
be
poop. I was gonna say there's poop.
Monsieur le Pigeon. So the pigeons.
But they don't put fucking screens
So the
around the
pigeons
gap?
get in and they drown in the water
Oh,
all the
no.
time, all the time. So like one of the super's jobs is to go in there with a like pool scooper, a pool skimmer, and scoop out the dead birds, right? So birds obviously spread disease, not just avian
Pigeons are
flu.
flying rats.
So the thing is, my theory is that the Legionnaires is spreading as the pigeons who don't drown go from one. And the reason this is my working theory, and Mayor Mamdani, call anytime, I'll take your call. I noticed that none of the buildings involved here are modern, brand new buildings without those tiny towers. So that's my working theory right now. Yeah.
I didn't realize there were that many buildings with those old water tower. I mean, well, I
they're
guess
all
that would
over.
make sense. I guess that would make sense. I guess I just never paid attention to those residential towers. Like you're usually looking up at the brand new sparkling glass buildings, and I never
Yeah.
looked that far up, like a residential complex. And if anything,
Yeah.
you admire the brownstones or something, right? Like on the Upper East
Sure.
or whatever. You're like, oh, these are beautiful. But that would make sense because, like Los Angeles, where like downtown LA, where I lived, there are a lot of, turn of the century Gothic and Deco style buildings, right? From like the 1920s or what have you, right? Like right around the turn of the century. And it's all those old buildings where the rooftops have those weird water towers. Like I said, where I mentioned the girl, the little Asian young woman that went missing. She somehow found her way into that and contaminated the water system at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
At a hotel famously known to have housed, in years past, like in the 1920s, 1930s, like silent film actors, and people often killed themselves, like jumping out of that building. It's a whole thing. And then this girl climbed into the water tower. So I can't even imagine. I never followed up on it, but I can't imagine what kind of diseases a rotting human corpse for weeks was giving to the hotel visitors.
It can't be good, right?
I didn't hear that it was Legionnaires, but I never paid attention to if there were gaps where birds would go leave their droppings, or is that how Legionnaires, is that how like the disease forms?
I'm not clear on that.
I don't know either. I mean, it's a disease.
I know it can get into.
Rarely hear about.
Like one of the Rumble chatters said it goes to it can get into the HVAC systems. That's certainly true, right? Like, so it's
So, what is the remediation? What can these?
They have to clean. The thing is, they have to get in and clean all of the. The tough part is, right? It gets into all the ducts, all the pipes. So all the ducts and the pipes have to be cleaned. Obviously that's complicated and hard.
So now you have hundreds of people that are paying probably an arm and a leg to live in New York City.
Sure.
Unbathed.
And the landlords are not doing the right thing because they're cheap assholes.
I'm sure.
And they don't want to like, what they should do is offer all of those people, you go stay in a hotel while we work on this. But they're not going to do that.
No, of course not. But like the building owners expect them to be, jerks about it. But why isn't the city stepping in? Because if they don't know the source of this and people are starting to die, why isn't the municipality coming in to investigate? And it's been like,
well, they are investigating. The health department's on top of it. I mean,
great. People feel real safe about that.
Well, I mean,
real confident.
Look, it's New York City. Nothing is ever done efficiently or well. I mean, that's just how it is.
Well, that's why I read that people, I imagine the people living there were requesting like, hey, why doesn't the city or the building owners, why don't they give us one of those like shower RVs like outside?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good idea.
Like that's horrible. So if you can't shower in it, you can't cook and drink it.
My recommendation would be if you're capable of handling it, take a bath instead.
But why would you? But wouldn't that still expose you to the disease?
No, because of the vaporized nature of the water. No, it's a respiratory disease like
So
COVID.
it's like the micro droplets, but not necessarily
Yes,
the steam. The
correct.
steam
So
is.
in other words, if the water's not agitated, it's fine.
Mm,
So
I
so if you draw the bath
no.
and then let it sit and come and take a bath, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I would be hard pressed to, let's say, bathe my newborn infant. Like, mm-mm.
Yeah, but if you do what I said,
No, I just knowing that my building had that. Oh hell no! Like
well,
hell.
it would be really freaky. Yeah,
Ugh, anyway,
your
well,
building basically killed you. Yeah.
yeah, that's awful. Ugh, all right, well, there's your news for Wednesday. Grifting and your building is poisoning you. So
Yeah. So take it easy.
so there you go. So check your water,
Are we
check
going to
your
do
schools.
Perez Hilton tomorrow?
Oh, but why is that even a story, Perez Hilton?
Because of the way he did it.
Oh, I didn't read the details. I'm just so disinterested in
I don't give a
Perez
shit about
Hilton.
Perez Hilton, but the dude basically decided to he basically fucked
Off.
himself up on the air.
Ugh.
So that's the point. It's like, do you remember like that? Do you remember that famous? There were a couple of cases of news anchors who basically were like one case where a guy's like, "You guys hear about more gun violence, but you don't really ever take it seriously." Well, I'm bringing the story home, and he pulled out a gun from under the desk and shot
No,
himself on the evening news. I'm
no,
gonna look this up now. Hold on.
no. God, that's awful. I do remember in California, I would say 1995 or 1996. You know, we love high-speed chases in the motherland, right?
Mhm.
We're famous for that. We have whole channels dedicated to high-speed freeway chases in California. So the choppers overhead, I forget what freeway it is, but I think it's somewhere in the valley. The guy finally stops on the freeway. The CHP is involved. The cops are involved, and they block off the freeway. The guy has a standoff in his little pickup truck, in his little old Toyota pickup truck, and it's going on for several minutes, like 10, 15, 20 minutes. So finally, dude gets out of his little Toyota pickup, shoots his dog live on TV with the choppers overhead on live
As one
TV.
does.
And then so you get I was watching this. I gasped, and then within a moment he does the same thing to himself live on TV, and the Fox local helicopter people were like, "Oh my god." And the camera's fumbling and they're like, "Oh my god." And so that is actually what prompted local news, at least in California, to
to
add a
institute
delay.
the delay. All right, so listen, here's what I'm kind of confusing an incident that inspired Network, the movie. So
Oh.
Christine Chubbuck, this actually happened in 1974. She was a TV reporter in Sarasota, Florida. During her live morning talk show, Suncoast Digest, she announced a mock suicide statement, pulled out a gun, and shot herself on the air.
A woman?
It was a woman, yeah, Christine Chubbuck.
Oh my
Unfortunate name. Then
god.
there, Bud in 1987, Dwyer, 1987, the Pennsylvania state treasurer at the time, he called a televised news conference the day before his sentencing for bribery. During the live broadcast,
Oh.
he shot himself in front of the reporters because it was a major news event. Several local TV stations broadcast the footage unedited. And
Oh.
also in 1998, Dan Jones was a guy who was facing severe health complications. He had engaged in a standoff on an LA freeway. Local news
That's this
stations
guy.
covered the event live via helicopters. He shot himself on live TV.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the guy I'm talking about. That's the one.
yeah.
95 or
And then
96
Allison
thereabouts.
Parker and Adam Ward, this is a little different. They were both killed on the air by their
What?
colleague, a former employee.
So the coworker went postal and
Yeah, and
blasted
basically,
everyone?
yeah, in Virginia.
Well, that's very different than
Yeah,
self-harm like Perez
yeah,
Hilton. That's,
yeah, yeah. It's very different. Yeah.
I mean, that's mental health issue. I don't know. I'm not like a fan. That's pop culture is not my world. But that's weird. Like, that's obviously you're having a mental health crisis in that moment. So, I don't know. I'd have to I have to read it, I guess. I stay away from like the gossip rags, and I view Perez Hilton as part of that world, and I'm not interested in that world. But ugh. But for this angle, ugh, what a yucky. Anyway, happy Wednesday.
Indeed.
Thanks, everybody. Make sure you drop us an emoji during the live chat. We appreciate the comments. Also, I
Always.
don't want to poo-poo all the people commenting, but the metrics require that we have live chat engagement. So if you drop us a line while we're live, that's how you help us
we need
stay in the program. We need that. So thank you very much. We're almost there. And we try to knock it out in the first week. This is the second month that Rumble is doing that for the creator program. So for us to stay monetized, we need your poop emoji.
We do. We need
for
that.
all the poop
we
stories.
Need it badly.
Thank you, guys. Adios,
Bye.
Ted.
Ciao.
Bye, all.
Bye.